You may have heard the hype about the flow state. The flow state is an experience that is marked by an expansion of ego boundaries to include the activity that you're engaged in. You are no longer a separate individual performing a separate task, but you become one with what you are doing. There's a seamless flow, and your performance happens efficiently and effortlessly. You lose any sense of self-consciousness or defensiveness, sense of time, as you are completely wired with what you are doing. These are all symptoms of the experience, perhaps a brief description. The actual definition of flow, of what it is at its core, is the channeling and focusing of all one's energies into the present activity. Everybody experiences this occasionally, but for the average person, this remains a rare experience. The reason they're not experiencing it is because they are looking in all the wrong places. The ways we fail to get this experience is actually quite universal, nothing unique about it. We attempt to get into the flow state through overeating, overindulging, social media, entertainment, substance abuse, and through all sorts of destructive habits and addictions. The reason these experiences give us a sense of flow is because they grasp all of our attention and we become consumed by the experience. That's why it feels good. However, these experiences are counterfeit flows, because the bottom line is you cannot go all into something you do not truly and fundamentally desire. And although this may feel good temporarily and give us some relief, because our surface level consciousness is entirely consumed by the experience, and it may even succeed in suppressing that inner voice that is actually in touch with our purpose, and is therefore resisting and kicking us for indulging in what we are doing. The bottom line is we are not all in. And the proof of this is the way we feel after the activity is done. That inner voice resurfaces back to our conscious awareness. And at this point, a lot of people keep indulging to keep suppressing that inner voice. So what if instead of resisting this inner voice, we listen to it, we feel it fully, we hear out its dreams, clarify its will, and use that clarity as our internal compass to guide our next step forward? Then perhaps we would inherit the priceless asset of clarity, which is one of the fundamental conditions of achieving flow. When we have clarity of where we want to go, we can assess what the next step forward is. And in that step forward, in that challenge, is another fundamental condition of flow, the challenge to skill ratio. In order to achieve the flow, we need something that is not too challenging that would overwhelm us, but not too easy that it is boring. We need a challenge that demands our full attention, so it challenges us to invest our entire self, go all in, and thereby achieve a state of flow. This is the sweet spot of stretch but don't snap. The sweet spot of stretch but don't snap is the zone of genuine flow. And it is what Rabbi Dessler, arguably the most renowned 20th century Jewish thinker, defines as choice in his work Michtav Eliyahu. The calling that is just beyond your comfort zone, that demands you to stretch and invest all your energy and focus in, is the intersection of where you are and the potential you have to access and actualize. But most importantly, this is where your flow is, and this is where real life happens. So as you can see, this is the path for you wherever you are, because no matter where you are, whether you're high in the sky or low in the ground that we need to peel you off with a spatula, Flow is found in the next step forward. And that next step forward is always there, no matter where you are, unconditionally. Wherever you are, there's a flow there, waiting for you to access it and claim it. See, the interesting paradox is that we all want the same thing. We all want flow. But what makes this complicating is that flow for each of us looks entirely different. Because we're all unique individuals with a unique purpose. So our flows can't look the same. So this is a path that demands radical honesty and tuning into your authentic purpose and calling and going all in on that. But the challenge is what makes it fun. The challenge, even though our survival brain initially, when confronted with a challenge, tells us to run away because it views it as a threat. But if you really think about it, a challenge is what makes life exciting. Why do we play sports? We are seeking out challenges all the time because that's what makes us feel alive. That's what makes us have fun. If it would be easy for us to beat our opponent, then we would never play sports because it would be boring. A challenge is not a threat. A challenge is fun. Because if you really think about it, the only life worth living is a life of flow. All mental illness and suffering comes from a lack of flow, of inner conflict, of parts of you being not aligned with your purpose. That causes conflict and resistance, and that takes a major toll on your mental health and well-being. Also, in terms of success, if you're not all in, if you're resisting, if you are being driven in different opposing directions, then it's like pressing the gas pedal and the brakes at the same time. You remain stuck and you don't go anywhere. But when you are aligned with your purpose, when you're going in one direction, then you become a machine. You become an unstoppable force that is moving and nothing could get in its way. And finally, this is the most fun place to be. The state of flow is an exciting place to live. It's vibrant, it's alive. There's no place any of us would rather be. So to summarize, the basis we covered in this video is flow means to go all in. You can only go all in on what you truly desire. Flow is your path forward wherever you are. And flow is the only life worth living. If you like this video, please subscribe, follow for more flow-oriented content and insights. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one.